Welcome to Bearcat Update. I'm your host, Jenny James. We have a jammed-packed show this week, but first we start things off with the Maryville boys basketball team. The Spoof Hounds started their week at home in some MEC action against Bishop LeBlond. LeBlond tried to avenge a 2-point loss to the Spoof Hounds last week in the Cameron tournament. Early in the first, Jack Harvey catches off the inbound out to Caleb Lombardino. That's a 3-ball, cash. LeBlond jumps out of the gate hot. Later in the quarter, whoop! Jalen Sundell loses the ball and we are off to the races. Harvey finished this one with 20. Later on, Eli Dowis off the ball screen. No look to Sundell. He holds on to this one. We go into the break, knotted up at 30. The third quarter, all Maryville, Jacob Woods out to Zachary Patton, splash. Hounds outscore LeBlond 16-6 in the third. The fourth, much of the same. Dowis to Sundell, Sundell throwing it down again. Maryville goes on to win this one 64-50. The Hounds were led by Jacob Wood with 12 points. Friday, the Hounds traveled to Smithville, routing the Warriors 64-42. Although the weather in Maryville is cold and bleak, Northwest Spring Sports have been gearing up for their upcoming seasons. The Northwest baseball season started this weekend, but before they left for Arkansas, our reporter Maria Babcock caught up with them and talked about how they prepare without being able to practice on the field.
The Northwest Missouri State baseball team traveled to Arkansas on Saturday, February 3rd to open their season against Arkansas Fort Smith. Their 9-day trip will consist of 6 games and plenty of team bonding. Team leader Joseph Hippis talks about what this first trip means to the team.
We're not a team until we take our first road trip. I always kind of mention that to people because you spend 9 days on a bus, in a hotel, on the field with 32 different guys, and the team's always pretty similar from the year before. But I mean, we lost a lot of big pieces from last year, and the team really needs to find an identity on that first road trip. And we come back so much closer after the first trip, so it'll be huge for us.
With the Missouri weather, the team is practicing on the football turf rather than the baseball field. Coach Lowe explains how the team looks forward to the Arkansas weather and for some competition.
It's just an opportunity to get playing, get repetitions, take batting practice, take ground balls off of grass instead of off the football field, and outfielders and infielders seeing fly balls in the air and so on.
There are several changes in the team this year. One of the biggest differences being the pitching staff. With the loss of Anthony Canopiel, last year's pitcher of the year, and Nico Pablo, one of the best closers of the year, some guys will need to step up. Hippis, one of the team leaders, is excited for the group of guys they have this year.
Being a senior just means seeing the game from a completely different perspective than when I was a freshman, sophomore, or junior. I know we had multiple guys on our team this year who are seniors right now who played a lot as freshmen, and so for us it's just a big role reversal. We just try to be leaders as best we can, lead by example, lead by our actions, and also some verbal leadership. But for us, for me, it's so exciting to be a part of a team that has so many older guys and so many good young pieces. It's a great mix of guys for me to help lead the team.
The team is looking to start their season strong like they did last year with a 6-1 record leaving Arkansas. They hope this will build towards accomplishing their team and personal goals this season.
So for us, it's really important that we take the next step and make a regional this year. I think that's the big team one because we made the conference tournament the last 2 years, made a little noise in conference play, but we're ready to take that next step. Me personally, just to win as many games as I can and give my team a chance to win every time I pitch.
I think our goals are to pitch well. That kept us in every baseball game. I think we'll score a few more runs this year along the way. We have some veteran hitters in our lineup, so that's going to help us out quite a bit. So, just go down, especially in this first week, play clean baseball, play good defense, get good pitching, kind of get our feet wet a little bit as far as go down and do what we can.
In Arkansas, the team will continue to bond while hoping for a solid start to the season. After this trip, the team will head to Oklahoma for several days before their first home game. The team is excited to see what this season brings. Reporting for Bearcat Update, I'm Maria Babcock.
Saturday, the baseball team traveled down to Arkansas Fort Smith for a 3-game series. They lost the first 2-5, and Sunday the team dropped another, losing 11-1. The baseball team plays their first home game February 23rd against Emporia State. We are going to take a quick break, but stick around. We've got Northwest basketball to come. You're watching Bearcat Update on KNWT Channel 8. Welcome back to Bearcat Update. I'm Jenny James. The Northwest men's basketball team is nearing the end of their regular season. With just 7 games left, the Cats sit at number 1 in the MIAA, just atop Washburn University. Head coach Ben McCollum addressed the challenges the team faces this week.
Totally different than what we've played. They seem to be similar in styles where they'll both play a little bit matchup zone. They just kind of find ways to guard you, but offensively is where they both really excel. They try to expose some of your weaknesses defensively, and so you have to make yourself aware of what they're doing early in the game. Otherwise, it could be a long night.
Thursday, the Cats blew past Lincoln University, beating the Blue Tigers 76-43. Saturday, Lindenwood University came to town. The MIAA first-place Northwest men's team taking on Lindenwood Saturday afternoon. Early in the first half, Justin Pitts with a beautiful pass to senior Brett Doherty as he opens the scoring for the Bearcats. Excellent ball movement as Ryan Welty finds Doherty again as he scores a team-high 17 points. The Lions have an answer of their own. Sophomore Max Mailer drills the 3, cutting into the Bearcat lead. Late in the half, Joey Wittes with the floater as he beats the buzzer. Northwest takes a 43 to 18-point lead into the break. The second half, same story. Doherty dishes to fellow senior Justin Pitts and lays it in, extending the Bearcat lead. That man again, Justin Pitts hits the 3, finishes with 13 points. Northwest outmans Lindenwood 75 to 58. Brett Doherty finishes with 17 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. Joey Wittes, 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 100% from the field. Now it's time for everyone's favorite segment, Coach's Corner. Today I am joined by Ryan Hawkins, Bearcat basketball player. Ryan, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
You've stepped up quite a bit this year. How has your role changed on the offensive side?
I've just had a lot more freedom offensively, kind of shooting when I get an open shot at the rim and being able to attack more and start creating a little bit more than I was at the beginning of the year.
What do you think about the rest of the schedule? You have a couple good teams coming up, Washburn and Missouri Southern later in the month. So what do you see on the rest of the schedule?
Yeah, we have a big road trip next week. We go to Emporia on Wednesday and then Washburn on Saturday, and we're I think 1 game ahead of Washburn right now in the conference. So it'll be a tough road trip.
How about that Missouri Southern game? You guys lost to them earlier in the season, kind of an uncharacteristic loss, and it's always a struggle playing down there, but you guys are going to have them up here in Bearcat Arena, so what are you expecting from that game?
Well, it'll be our last game of the year and our last regular season home game, so it'll be an interesting game, but we'll be ready. It'll be a lot of energy, a lot of revenge, a lot of built-up hatred towards them, I'm sure, but it'll be a fun game.
You mentioned energy, so what's the energy like at home in Bearcat Arena?
Oh, it is unbelievable playing in Bearcat. I mean, you go on the road, they might have a bigger gym, but when you get Bearcat rocking like it was Saturday, it's unbelievable playing there.
How important is that, would you say, to have that energy when you guys play at home?
Oh, that is definitely a huge home court advantage. That just brings life, sparks us right away.
Has the team dynamic changed at all this year, and what needs to be done, would you say, to get back to the national championship?
Well, I'd say right now we've done a good job of dealing with injuries. I mean, we've had to play without JP for a game, play without Zay for a game. So those are 2 big losses for a game. But we're doing a very good job of being fluid in our roles and being interchangeable. So I think our defense is what will get us back up to Sioux Falls, hopefully. So that's what we'll have to rely on. How does
it feel to have that 48 home game winning streak?
Oh, that is crazy. That just shows how much of a home court advantage Bearcat really is.
So is the national championship something you guys make a top priority and a goal, or do you guys kind of more focus on 1 game at a time?
Coach Mack talks about getting ready for every game like we're playing Duke. Got to have that energy and that excitement as if you were going to play Duke, because if you get ready for every game like you're playing Duke, I mean, playing in the MIAA, you're never going to have an easy game, but as long as you get excited and prepare for that game, you'll be good. Speaking
of Duke, how was it to go down there and play those guys?
That was crazy. I mean, you're standing next to 7-footers down low, and you're like, yeah, I feel pretty short right now.
Yeah, I bet. Kind of going back into the MIAA, it's kind of a tough conference. So, how do you guys go into each game knowing, okay, this could be a close game, because we've had some close games this year. So what mindset do you guys have to have each game?
Oh, we got to go into each game like we know the scouting report, know our defense is what's going to get us through the game, and then we'll get it going offensively. That'll come. But we go into each game knowing tendencies of other players and knowing what they want to do offensively.
What's it like to play with an amazing basketball player like Justin Pitts?
Makes it so much easier for everyone else. He draws so much attention, and then you just get wide open shots.
Starting this season, coming off of the national championship, did you guys kind of feel like you had a target on your back and a lot of pressure?
Yeah, but I feel like even before we won the national championship that we had that target on our back because we'd pretty much dominated in the MIAA the last 4 or 5 years. So we already had that target, but now we really do have that target on our backs.
Unfortunately, we are out of time, but thank you for joining us today, Ryan. We are going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. You're watching Bearcat Update on KNWT Channel 8. Welcome back to Bearcat Update. I'm Jenny James. Last week, the Northwest Missouri women's basketball team was also in action. Tuesday, the ladies picked up their third win of the season against Lincoln University. Saturday, they hosted Lindenwood. Coming into the game, the Bearcats only sat 1 game behind Lindenwood for their final spot in the MIAA tournament. Northwest finishing its 3-game home stretch against Lindenwood at Bearcat Arena. First quarter, junior Mallory McAndrews knocks down one of her 5 threes of the game and ties it up early. Same quarter, Callie Bidner responds with a 3. She scores a team-high 19 points for the Lions. Late in the half, Macy Williams provides a spark off the bench with this and 1. She then knocked in the free throw. The Bearcats head into the half down 43-22. Second half, Tanya Meyer with the touch connects from in the paint, scoring 2 of her team-high 19 points. Northwest not done. Macy Williams finds Kalani Maava for the easy 2. However, the Lions would be too much. Lindsay Median finishes the and 1 as Lindenwood outguns the Bearcats 84-56. Tanya Meyer led the Bearcats with 17 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. Mallory Andrews added 15, shooting 50% from the field and adding 2 steals. Northwest Missouri State's bread and butter is winning national championships. The football team has won 7 in the last 20 years, and the basketball team picking up their first last year. This year, a national championship that flew under the radar was won for the Bearcat Steppers. Our reporter Becca Ross talked to the team about their experience. Becca?
The Bearcat Steppers traveled to Orlando, Florida for the UDA National Championships in January. A longtime member of the Steppers, Michaela Vittoria, was able to tell us more about the process of getting to nationals.
Create what we call a home routine, and it's basically just like a dance of your choice, and that dance was what qualifies you to nationals. So if you do good at camp, then you get a bid, and then you can go to nationals if you choose to.
The Steppers won first place in the game day event and second place in Palm. Senior Marissa Jarnigan was able to explain a little bit more about the event.
Game day, and that is what you see at football and basketball games. It's just sidelines like the band would play. So for example, they always play Hey Baby. So that would be like something we could do for game day. This year we did Celebration, so it's a song that everyone knows. We did the fight song, and then we also came up with a timeout dance.
The girls worked hard to memorize the choreography and get the moves just right, spending long hours and late nights practicing.
It starts with summer practices, which are week-longs. They're 6 hours. Kind of crazy, kind of tiring, but that's kind of how it starts out. We have 2 routines. Last year we had our pom number, our jazz number, and then we also competed in game day for the first time. So our practices were very long, very strenuous, like I stated, and I mean, we have to dedicate all that time to it to make sure that we're prepared for the national level, because when you get there, it's crazy.
After hearing the judges call the Steppers' name for first place, beating out D1 schools, the team was overwhelmed with excitement.
My first feeling that I had was that we did it. I told everybody at the beginning of the year if we kept working hard, we could make it to that level, and we worked hard all year. We worked our tails off every single practice, and it was proven, and the university finally was able to recognize that we are a national champion team.
For being only their first time competing in game day and their second time competing in Palm, the Bearcat Steppers proved that they have what it takes to compete against the best. For Bearcat Update, I'm Becca Ross.
Thanks, Becca. We are going to take one last break, but stick around. We have more to come. You're watching Bearcat Update on KNWT Channel 8. Welcome back to Bearcat Update. I'm Jenny James. Northwest volleyball player Maddie Bruder has been presented a special opportunity. Over winter break, she was asked to play on the USA Division II national team in Brazil this summer. Our reporter Nolan Brooks brings us more.
Maddie Bruder, an outside hitter for the Northwest Missouri State Bearcats, will travel to Brazil this summer to compete for the USA Division II national team. The team will compete against other volleyball teams from Brazil in exhibition matches. Other Bearcats have also competed for the national team. They lead the way, but Bruder is next in line.
Just when I got the email, I was really excited. I was pumped. I know Miranda Foster had a great experience with it last year, so I was super excited to just be asked to participate in it, and it's just going to be a really big opportunity for me to learn more about volleyball, learn more from other people instead of just what I get on a day-to-day basis, and just get some new input and some new ideas on how to play and different stuff like that.
While the trip to Brazil will be like a vacation, Bruder has her mind set on volleyball before the relaxation part of the trip begins.
I think I'm most excited about playing other teams and just having to adapt and find ways to, like I said before, play with people I've never played with before. I think just the volleyball experience is what I'm obviously excited to see the culture and get a feel for what that's like, but I'm mostly excited to play volleyball in a different country because it is such an amazing opportunity and it's something that you can really learn from.
Bruder says her ultimate goal while in Brazil is to mold into a better volleyball player overall.
Yeah, I'm just hoping to overall, like leadership-wise, and just learning things from a new coach on just how to adapt, and just you really have, like, we don't practice, we just go in and have to play with each other, and you have to learn how to communicate with people you've never played with before. So just like leadership-wise on controlling the court, and then also communicating and just increasing hopefully my level of communication when I come back here to Northwest, and being able to take that experience and just really take whatever I can from the situation.
Reporting for Bearcat Update, I'm Nolan Brooks.
The Northwest track and field team competed in the Ted Nelson Invitational in Mankato, Minnesota. Our reporter Juwan Bush shows us the difficulties of traveling such a distance and still competing at such a high level. Juwan?
Northwest track and field gets their minds right as they head up north to Mankato, Minnesota.
For instance, they'd give us different competition. So just depending on who goes where, she might know that there's different athletes. Let's say up north, like we're up South Dakota and Mankato. Just gives us something new, more people who can run against, especially like South Dakota, 1,500 athletes. Entirely new basis of people.
As the indoor season is officially on its downfall, the training for the Bearcats has changed up just a little bit.
Practice-wise, I switched over to 7-stepping the hurdles. So my block starts, I flip legs. So now I'm a right leg in the blocks, and I'll go over the hurdle with the right leg. So pretty much just extending my legs through, so longer strides. The first hurdle is the biggest thing. More practice probably in this year, just because we have everything split up. It's more personal. We don't have all the multiplies together with us, so he can give us more advice on a personal basis more often, I would say. The new freshman class, I'm really pumped about. Just seeing how well they've done. Their attitudes have been really nice. They've been I think we have a nice class coming in. I'm going to be pumped to see everything going through. Hopefully everything connects for him by conference. It'd be nice. It'd be nice.
I'm Juwan Bush from Bearcat Update.
In Minnesota, Heba Magoo placed first in the 400-meter dash at 56.36, the fourth fastest time in the nation. Jordan Hammond finished second in the 60-meter hurdles, and the men's 4x4 team finished second. Our own Juwan Bush was a part of that team. That's all the time we have today, but first, my top 3 things to look for. First, Bearcat basketball at Washburn on Saturday. Softball kicks off their season at Arkansas Tech, and Maryville Wrestling District starts Saturday in Excelsior Springs. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Bearcat Update. You can follow us on Twitter at BearcatUpdate_8 or watch all of our previous episodes on YouTube at KNWT8. Thanks for watching and have a great night. Thanks for watching the show. You can watch last week's episode over here and all of the previous episodes over here, somewhere over here. You'll find it. You'll figure it out.